which pick did you like the least? Doesn't mean he won't be a good player, but maybe you didn't like where he was taken or whatever. Why? Who was the guy?
That's a tough one.
And again, we're not crushing him. It's early.
Yeah.
It's more about the process.
I think you needed. Okay, so granted, I'm a big fan of Willie Lampkin, right? And Willie Lampkin went undrafted and he went to the Rams. And he's a center, and I think he's a fullback, and I think he's a culture-changing mover in the run game. He's a great leverage player. And to me, after you went Connor Colby, I would have loved to seen them finish up with Willie Lampkin and really put some thump in your run game and change things up, because you had two things you had to do. You had to win at the point on defense. You had to win at the point on offense. I think defensively with Collins and West and Nick Martin and Stout, you're really, you're doing a lot up front on the defensive side. And I like Connor Colby, but to me, I don't think I would have. I think I would have gone with Willie Lampkin over the return guy in Junior Bergen. You know what? I've heard Brant Boyer, our special teams coach, has been talking about this guy. How many players do you want to give and devote to your special teams? It's like, I know it's a third of the game, but your offensive line, you really don't. You probably could have gone offensive tackle there. You probably could have gone offensive. I would have gone with an offensive lineman, or a running back, because that's where the depth was. Go with something like Montrell Johnson or one of these guys that went to after the draft. I would have gone with where the draft was deepest. Another running back. Instead, they go with Junior Bergen, and he's a great return guy. He's in great shape, but he's not a burner per se. So he's a return guy. He's not a burner. I mean, I guess I got to see it. Maybe I just got to see it. Supposedly the special teams coach was pounding the table for Junior Bergen. Shanahan said that, that Boyer basically hasn't stopped talking about Junior Bergen. So I guess, but I mean, really? I mean, how your entire free agency, it seemed like, was about special teams. You don't have enough. You already have Jacob Cowing. He's not good enough. This guy's that much better. And
also Jordan Watkins, a returner.
Plus, you have other receivers. You're really going to devote a receiver position to a guy who's just a returner who's not a.
Did you hear what Kyle was said when asked about him? He's like, yeah, he's not. I mean, we'll throw him in with the receivers, but if he's going to make the team, he'll make it as a returner. It's like, okay,
a returner that doesn't really run that fast.
No, he's Trent Taylor. I mean, have you watched his highlights? He moves like Trent Taylor. There's no burst. He's quick, but he's not fast. I'm sorry. I don't think it's going to work. I didn't like that pick at all. Sorry, Jordan Jr.
I mean, if your pick suggests, man, these guys really know more than everybody else, odds are you don't. And if you don't, and it's transcends sports. I mean, the Warriors did this with Alan Smilagich and Justinian Jessup and all these guys. It's like, no, you're not that smart. Sorry. But and Junior Bergen, maybe. I mean, I'm not. He could be a great return guy.
Yeah.
But I mean, you need a more offensive lineman. Jalen Conyers was a 30 visit, I believe. He's a tight end. He's 260 pounds. He's a blocker. He's a receiver. I think Jalen Conyers probably would have been your tight end too this year. And you took Junior Bergen. So it was just, a little bit. And then the other one was Lynch seemed to be really enamored with Marquise Siegel. But in the 5th round at pick number 160, that seemed very premature. Now he did run 4.37, so and he's a former corner, so I like that in the safety, because you got to have some coverage ability, and speed is always a good thing. But that seemed a little early. Bergen seemed like a total undrafted guy for sure. And then I didn't think they totally killed it in the undrafted market, but the one guy that I would say I'm intrigued by is Corey Kiner.
Hold on. Don't get that's the next topic.
Okay.
Prize Picks is sponsoring the Cone Zone this year. Prize Picks is the leader in daily fantasy and the best place to win cash while watching sports. And the best part about the app is it's really easy to use. To create a lineup, all you have to do is pick more or less on a few players' stats. I'm a Niners guy. So, when I'm doing Prize Picks, I'm looking, the last couple of years, I'm looking at Deebo Samuel because I know Deebo Samuel better than Deebo Samuel knows Deebo Samuel. So if it's like drops, I'm taking more. Or if it's like punches thrown towards his long snapper on the sideline during the fourth quarter of a game, the 49ers will go on to win. I'm smashing more because I know the 49ers and I'm a Prize Picks guy. Now, maybe they didn't have those exact plays, but they have so many plays that'll make your head spin. And you can play Prize Picks in over 40 states, including California and Texas. Best part about it is the new user offer. Prize Picks will give you $50 when you play your first $5 lineup. So win or lose, you'll get $50 just for playing. That sounds like a win to me. Use promo code Cohn, COHN, to claim your $50 today. Tell them Grant sent you. Okay. I don't want to spoil that one because I like Corey Kiner too. So what I wanted to say is my least favorite pick, and I mentioned earlier, was the wide receiver. And it's not that I don't like him because he does look like he's talented. Right. He's Jordan Watkins. He's very fast. He has terrific hand-eye coordination. He's short-handed. He doesn't drop the ball. Short arms, but good route runner, and he's explosive. So he could end up being good. Kyle has been, since he drafted Danny Gray, he's pretty much gotten this position right. Still, though, I think you could have gotten him with your next pick in round 5. And if he was gone, oh, well, it's not that big of a need, although he's a nice player. With that pick, I know they could have gotten an offensive tackle. They could have taken Carson Vinson from Alabama A&M. He ended up going 3 picks later to the Ravens. That's George Warhop. He's a great offensive line coach. The Niners used to have him. He developed Ben Bartch. Forster is good friends with him. This is one of the best offensive lines in the league and one of the best running games in the league. And they took 2 offensive tackles and a guard. This Vincent guy, he's a bit of a project, but he's 6'7", 34.5-inch arms. He's fast. The kind of project, he's the Jordan Watkins of offensive tackles. He's a nice project. Could have taken him, and everyone be off your back, but you didn't. So that one there, you waited so long. You could have had a nice prospect on the offensive line, and you passed. I'm not saying anything bad about Connor Colby. Maybe he'll be good too, but
in fairness to the Niners, I kind of felt like the tackles went a little early. When I was looking at the way the board was going, guys like Anthony Belton, I think a lot of them were mocked in the 3rd round. They were going in the middle of the 2nd round. So guys started coming off the board. And I think, but it's one of those things, they say corner, quarterback, and offensive line are the 3 spots where you have to put guys higher on your board than you normally would, because there's urgency and supply and demand factors at play, and teams are really desperate for those players at those positions. So those players go higher. And I think the Niners probably put the offensive line guys where they ranked them on their board, didn't elevate them in any way, and just played the board as it came. They clearly don't show the kind of urgency to improve their offensive line that the rest of us show. Some of the analytics say that their offensive line is pretty good. But then if you look individually at some of their analytics, it kind of suggests that the center and the right tackle are not that great. We know the age of Trent Williams. There's an obvious hole at left guard. So we'll see. It's just they clearly don't believe their offensive line is as big an issue as the rest of us seem to believe. And the way, there's an old saying, you draft what you value. And the 49ers, not just in this era, in every era going back, always have and always seem to, maybe always will value D-line over O-line, almost more severely than most organizations. And I will say this, in the old days, the fact that the Niners didn't draft O-linemen early, it was like, hey, it was thought to be like, that's an advantage. Now, I think people look at the fact that the Niners are not drafting O-line early, and they're looking at it like they're screwing up. So it's amazing what winning the Super Bowl versus losing the Super Bowl does for the perspective of a fan base.
We can debate how good the Niners offensive line is. All I know is that the best offensive line in the league is Phillies, and they drafted 2 offensive tackles in round 6. So Miles Hinton, Cameron Williams, I mean, they're not going to start for the Eagles, but they want to have good backups. And you never know when you're going to find a diamond in the rough. I mean, Jordan Mailata was a 6th or 7th round pick himself. So it just seems like if that's what the team with the best offensive line, if that's how they approach it, constantly bringing guys in is what the Ravens did too. I would like to see the Niners be a little bit more aggressive with that particular position, and they won't be ever.